Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Property Management 101, and in this video today we'll be discussing how to determine how much to charge an owner for an owner reserve. If you've already done so, please watch my disclosure video as well as my why I do this video. And if you found this video helpful and learned something new, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. This video will apply best for anyone involved on setting the amount of how much to charge an owner for their reserve on the single family management side of the industry. For those of you that may not be aware, what I'm referring to when I say an owner's reserve, it is a common practice on the single family management side. When you bring on a new unit or owner, you will require a set amount to be collected. This amount is typically used for the property manager during times that the rental proceeds are not collected. This reserve amount will help offset any fees or costs that the property manager will need to cover. Some companies allow this to be pulled from the first month rental payment, or I've seen other companies ask for this upfront from the owner. Number one best practice to consider when setting your owner reserve amount: what are the competitors doing? What are your comps charging? What is the high and low of the market? If you're in a sub-market, what are your comps charging compared to what maybe comps are charging in that bigger market? If you acquire a portfolio, for example, what did the old owners pay for their owner reserve? All these factors should really help determine what you should set your reserve amounts to. You don't want to put your company in a position where you're not as competitive to even acquire owners due to your reserve amount, or you leave a bad taste in the owner's mouth that is newly assigned to you. Number two best practice to consider when setting your owner reserve amount: average cost and fees. So what you really want to do with an owner reserve is determine what are your average expenses and fees that you might need to cover if a draw from that reserve amount needs to occur. So what are your monthly management fees? What utilities are you covering as a property manager? Are there any outside fees like HOA fees that you're required to cover? One of the big and likely events that you'll need to draw from an owner's reserve is if you have to file eviction. So what are some of those fees that you'll have to pay as a property manager in the event you have to file eviction on a resident? Keep in mind the goal of having a reserve is that you're not asking for the owner for additional funds in a time that rent is not being collected. Typically, the most common times this is occurring is when the unit is vacant or when rent is not paid, therefore an eviction will need to be filed on. These are some of the questions I would review to really make sure whatever owner reserve amount you are charging covers your basic fees, especially your eviction fees. And the last best practice to consider when setting your owner reserve amount: transparency. Whatever you decide to set your owner reserve amount to, you really want to make sure you're disclosing that on the front end prior to starting to work with that owner. And I'd really recommend this be disclosed in any type of onboarding packet you give to the owner, as well as outline your property management agreement. By doing this, this will ensure that any owner you're working with, you're leaving a great first impression in their minds, and that's the exact type of first impression you really want to leave so that owner decides to pick you as a property manager for future assets they may be acquiring as well. If you do have any questions about this video or any of my videos, feel free to comment below and I'll be happy to address them for you. And I hope you found this video helpful and learned something new. If so, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. Happy leasing!